In this video, let's talk about algebraic terms. So let's say you are given an algebraic terms 2pq. What does this mean? It means that 2 times p times q. Let's say if the questions tell you that p is equal to 3 and q is equal to 5. So what is the value of 2pq? It's actually very simple. Let me write 2pq first. So since you know that 2pq is 2 times p times q, right? You can just calculate the value of 2pq when the value of p and q are given to you. Now 2 times p, we know that p is equal to 3 times q is equal to 5. This is equal to 30. So instead of writing this, sometimes you will see people write like this. It's actually the same thing. You can just put a parenthesis like this. When you see a parenthesis and you don't see any multiplication, divide, or plus or minus sign, this means that multiply. It means that 2 times 3 times 5. Okay, so this is equal to 30. Okay, now let me show you. Let's say you key in your calculator. You put a parenthesis like this. 3 and parentheses and then parentheses for 5. Now your calculator know that this is actually 2 times 3 times 5. You just press equal, you will get 30. Okay, so now let me change the question a little bit. Now let me change this to let me keep the value of p and q. This time instead of 2pq, I'm going to make it become 2p square q. Okay, what does this mean? It means that 2 times p times p, 2 times, okay, times p times p times q. Okay, so if the question tells you p is equal to 3, q is equal to 5, what is the value of 2p square q? Okay, 2p square q is equal to 2 times p times p. Okay, times q is equal to 5. Okay, 23638, 840。Okay, let me check, is that correct? 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Okay, is equal to 90. Okay, so let me change a little bit the value of p and q. Instead of writing this, if you don't want to write this, you also can write like this. Let me change this one, become 2 times p square times 5. Okay, you will still get 90. Let's see how do we key in our calculator. You just press 2 and then a parenthesis 3 square. Okay, 5. You will still be able to get exactly the same answer, which is equal to 90. Okay, now I think it should be no problem, right, to understand what is the meaning of an algebraic terms. So sometime in the exam, you might be given an algebraic terms and a table like this. The table asks you to complete the table, means that the question will give you the variable and you need to fill in the coefficient. Okay, let's look at this algebraic term. Now, what is the coefficients of the variable p? So it's very simple. You can just cancel this one and you will see negative 2qr, right? So the coefficient will be negative 2qr. So always remember, if you take the coefficients, multiply the variable, you will be able to get back these algebraic terms. If you take this one times this one, you will not, if you cannot get back the algebraic terms, it means that your answer is not correct. Okay? Now, PQ. So I'm going to cut the P and the Q. I will see negative 2R. So this will be negative 2R. Let's proceed to the third one. PQR. So this time I will cut all PQR. So I only see negative 2 left. So this will be negative 2. Okay, one more. PR. P and R. So I will see negative 2Q. negative 2q. So you will notice that, as I told just now, every time you take these coefficients times this variable, you will be able to get back this. Okay, now how about this one? This will be more complicated, but it's actually the same thing, but you need to be more careful when you see the power 2, power 3, and so on. Okay, p, we cut this one, you will see negative. Now, this one, it means that negative 1 times p times q, which means q squared, times r, times r, times r, which means rq. Okay, so you cut this p and you will see negative q squared r cube. Okay, how about this one? Let's see, p q squared r cube, p q squared r cube. You will see negative only, but you cannot fill in like this. It means negative 1. Okay, how about this one? Now this you have to be more careful. So let me break this one into this. You cannot do it this way. If you do it this way, it's not correct. You see P, right? You cut P. You see Q, you cut Q, but be careful. This is Q, and this is Q squared. Difference. This is R squared. This is R cube. So I would suggest you in this situation, let me break it into, write it in this way first. Negative 1 times P times Q times Q times R times R times R. Okay, so negative 1 P Q squared R cube. Now, what I'm going to do next, P, I'm going to cut P. Okay, Q, I'm going to cut Q. R squared, I'm going to cut R 2 times. Okay, because R squared. So what are left here, we just copy. So you will see negative 1, you don't have to write negative 1, you just need to write negative sign. QR, negative QR. So if you want to double check, you take this one times this one. If you are able to get back this, means that your answer is correct. Okay, let's check. Negative P, negative QR times PQR squared. Okay, negative just copy, negative positive, you get negative. Okay, you have P here. Q times Q is Q squared. Oh, sorry. The 2, let me put inside here. Okay, be careful this one. I did a mistake just now. This and this is not the same thing. Okay? This is actually equal to P squared Q squared R squared. The square, when I put a parenthesis here, it means that the square for all the variable. P need to square, Q need to square, R need to square. It's different from this. Okay, so just now I did a mistake. I put the square outside the parenthesis. So I should write that like this. Okay, let's double check again. Okay, so negative, just copy, negative, positive, you get negative. And I have only one P. So Q times Q, you will get Q squared. R times R squared, you get R cube. Is that correct? Yes, this means that this answer is correct. Okay, let's try the last one. Negative PR. So negative, I'm going to cut this one. P, I'm going to cut this. R, I'm going to cut this. So eventually, I only have Q squared R squared. Q squared R squared. So if you want to double check, we take this one times this one, we should be able to get back this. If we cannot get back this, it means that our answer is incorrect. Okay, Q squared R squared times, let me put a parenthesis here, negative PR. Okay, positive, negative, you get negative. So P Q squared R squared times R, you will get R cubed. Is that correct? Yes, correct. This means that our answer is correct. Okay, that's all for this video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.